Good evening, folks. It's your bro, Richie Rich here again. Richie Rich here again. Today's video is now part 5 on the Lamborghini Diablo. And today I'm going to be attempting to finish this off. Because I have not got that much left. All that's left is concept cars. So concept cars, production, and notes. So notes, and then, well, not notes, sorry. All this is just concept cars and production. Sorry, I screwed up. I apologize. So concept cars and production, and then I'll wrap it up for the Diablo. All right. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted of when I make brand new uploads. All right. So it's over 60 seconds, or 1 minute to be exact. And so yeah, without any further ado, let's finish this. So next up, concept cars. Now we're on introduction. Here we go. In 1995, the ownership of Lambo. So in 1995, the ownership of Lambo was excuse me. In 1995, the ownership of Lambo was reconstructed. So in 1995, the ownership of Lambo. Was reconstructed. Indonesian company V-Power Corporation. Indonesian company V-Power Corporation held 60% of the shareholding, while the remaining 40% stake was controlled by Malaysian company MyCom BHD. So MyCom BHD, the reconstructed ownership hired Vittorio di Capua, an infamous automobile industry veteran. So an infamous automobile industry veteran who had worked at Fiat. Who had worked at Fiat SPA for 40 years. It's like 4 decades, I'd say. So 40 years. 40 years is crazy. Not bad. 40 years. That's pretty good. Hardworking person gets paid good money. But thing is, for 40 years as the new president and CEO. So president and CEO of the company, thus replacing Mike Kimberly, who had disagreements with the shareholders. Di Capua, after taking the position, initiated a price cutting program that led to the departure of both many executives and consultants. Under his guidance, the development of the aging Diablo's successor began under the code name P147, sounds like a paint code or something. I'm not 100% sure. Or sounds like one of those kind of army type vehicles. P147. I don't know. So under the code name P147, later changed to L147. So L147. Um, Decapua. So Decapua made a decision to use a decision to use the Diablo's chassis. So both the Diablo's chassis and running gear. So chassis and running gear for the working prototypes. So for the working prototypes, in order to save development costs. So in order to save development costs. So development costs. This development program led to the development of two prototypes, named both the Canto and the Acosta. Speaking of which is what we're on. So now we're on the Acosta from 1996. Following his involvement in the development of famous Lambo models, famous Lambo models named both the Mura and Countach. So Mura and Countach. Marcello Gandini. Marcello Gandini, who had now been operating his own design consultancy firm, was entrusted with the design. So with the design of the Diablo's successor, which I believe was the Murcielago, I think. Not 100% sure, but possibly it is. So Diablo's successor. The car called the Acosta was heavily based on the Diablo. So heavily based on the Diablo, following the management's cost cutting policies and cost cutting policies, and was Gandini's interpretation for a modern day Lambo. The Acosta had a fairly angled design. The Acosta had a fairly angled design language when compared to the Canto. The large rear cooling intakes. So cooling intakes were more smooth and were like in line. So like in line with the design language, but were followed by equally large outlets at the rear of the car. The front of the car had two thin headlights, joined by a scaffolding, which created a bulge in the hood. So scaffolding, like roll bars and whatnot. I think, I'm not 100% sure. So the bulge in the hood were also present on the engine cover to create more room. So more room for the engine harking back to the Countach, reducing rear visibility. Which is a problem nowadays for most supercars. Well, like all of them, the rear visibility is terrible. So reducing rear visibility. Rear visibility. The wing mirrors were two large units incorporating large openings for better airflow. There's also a small rear wing present on a small window at the rear of the car. This design was considered too aggressive for a modern Lambo, and it's loosely based around the Diablo's design. It's ultimately rejected. The only car completed based on Gandini's design was left without any running gear and is now stored in the Lambo Museum. Next up is the Canto from 1997. So speaking of Canto, we're now on the Lamborghini Canto from 1997. And that's the last version of the Lambo we're doing. So, let's finish this. Let's make this last part count. Well, third to last, second to last one. I know I ended there. After the rejection of Gandini's design, many design propositions were made for the Diablo successor. Which I believe was the Murcielago. I'm not 100% sure. After the rejection of Gandini's design, many design propositions were made for the Diablo's successor. Finally, the design penned by Norihiko Harada, that's Japanese. So Norihiko Harada, chief designer of Italian styling house Zagato, was chosen. So his full name, Norihiko was spelled Norihiko, and his last name Harada was spelled Hara. So Harada. Kind of a rhythm going on, but oh well. So chief designer of Italian styling house Zagato. So chief designer of Italian styling house Zagato. Zagato was chosen. The first running prototypes having Harada's design began testing in 1997. So the late 90s, in the early stages of the car's development, the Canto had utilized the engine taken from a Diablo SV before moving on to both a more powerful and modified power plant. During testing at the Nardo test track, in the region of Apulia in the province of Lecce in southern Italy. So during testing at the Nardo test track, we've seen like the episode of Top Gear where Hammond and Clarkson tested out the Aventador M600 and So Aventador, M600, and MP412C. So during testing at the Nardo test track, in Italy, the Canto had attained a top speed of 217 miles an hour, the same as an Aventador. Although this was never officially confirmed. When Lambo was sold to Audi, which is what it is owned by. So when Lambo when Lambo was sold to Audi, because since Audi owned Lamborghini in June 1998, so like the late 90s, like the middle of the late 90s was to develop. So in June 1998, the development work on the development work on this the development work on the successor of the Diablo was overseen by Volkswagen Group President Ferdinand Piech. Who, before he moved to Audi, began his career at Porsche. So when Lambo was sold to Audi in when Lambo was sold to Audi in June 1998, the development the development work on the successor of the Diablo was overseen by VW or Volkswagen. So Volkswagen, I think I said it right in German.
Volkswagen.
That's how. Instead of a V, it's with an F at the very beginning. So Volkswagen. But I say Volkswagen. And last name is Volkswagen. Say, when Lambo was sold to Audi in June 1998, the development work on the successor of the Diablo was overseen by Volkswagen Group President Ferdinand Piech. Born April 17th, 1937. So April 17th, 1937, in Vienna, the capital of Austria. So died or passed away August 25th, 2019. Age 82 in Rosenheim in Germany, which is a city in Bavaria, which is known as the Free State of Bavaria in southeast Germany, which there was where the BMW came from, which BMW or BMW or BMW as we call it, stands for Bavarian Motor Works, well, Bavarian Motorworks. Like in my country, we pronounce it like with a V for BMW. We call it BMW. So BMW. That's how like we call it. But it is what it is. And even in Germany, it's BMW. So BMW, like that's how they call it. So in Europe, like in most European countries, they say it differently how they say it in their way. Anyways, that's what I wanted to say. Anyways, well, moving on. So when Lambo was sold to Audi in June 1998, the development work on the successor of the Diablo was overseen by Volkswagen Group President Ferdinand Piech, he immediately rejected the design because he had been unimpressed, so was not impressed by the design language, which wasn't as aggressive as previous Lambo models, like the Mira and the Countach. So wasn't wasn't as aggressive as previous Lambo models. He also he also he also reprimanded the big side air intakes present on the rear of the car, which disproportioned the overall look. keeping the suggestions Keeping the suggestions in consideration, the car was heavily redesigned in 1999. It's like the very late 90s, almost before the start of the very early 2000s. So in 1999, and special attention so special attention attention was given to shorten the air intakes. The car was to be unveiled to the public at the 1999 Geneva Motor Show. So 1999 Geneva Motor Show, with plans of putting it into production. But the car didn't receive Ferdinand's approval, primarily due to his continuing dissatisfaction with the design, along with the use of the Diablo's running gear, and the project was shelved. The Canto had later utilized a modified version of the naturally aspirated 6-liter V12 used in the SVR version of the Diablo. So the Diablo SVR, which generated a maximum power output of 631 horsepower. Pretty good. The same amount of power as a Huracan Performante, actually, which has like 30 or so horsepower more than the standard 2014 Huracan. So the console had later utilized a modified version of the. So the console had later utilized a modified version of the. So the console had later utilized a modified version of the naturally aspirated naturally aspirated 6-liter V12. So 6-liter V12. So 6-liter V12. So 6-liter V12. Used in the Diablo SVR, which generated a maximum power output of 631 horsepower during dyno testing. The engine was unfortunately detuned to 602 horsepower, same as the Pagani Zonda F. So 602 horsepower for both. I can't pronounce this word. For both. How do you pronounce this word? For both.
Longevity.
For both longevity and easy maintenance. So longevity and easy maintenance. A claimed total of 5 cars. 5 cars are said to have been produced with one color, finished in black exterior color, being sold to a Japanese collector. The Kanto concept having the Diablo SVR power plant, now resides in the Lambo Museum. Say Lambo Museum. Following the failure of the two concepts, so following the failure, so the failure of the two concepts, Ferdinand initiated development work. So Ferdinand initiated development work. So development work work of the successor. So successor of the Diablo. So Diablo from scratch. The design work was entrusted to the then Lambo chief designer Luke Dunkervolk. So Luke Dunkervolk, and thus the Murcielago was developed. So developed. And last part we got is production, and then now finally wrap it up for the mighty Diablo. Okay. Alright. Alright, so, for production, we got not that much anyways. We got from 1999 to 2001. For how many cars were made in total? So in 1999, 252 were built. So in 1999, 252 were built. In 2000, 291, and in 2001. So 2001, 215 were built. Alright, finally all done. Thank God for that. But before I do, I gotta do a little calculation. Gonna add up how much in total they were produced from those 3 years, from 1999 to 2001. So in total, throughout these 3 years, they made a total of 758 Diablos. From those 3 years, it was pretty good, actually. Good. Really good. Alright. Finally, all completed. Phew. Like, literally. Phew. Phew. Finally, all done. Alright, so for my next Lambo video, will probably be the Murcielago, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I will find out, like, what I got next for the Lamborghini video. But I'll find out, like, I'll see what I can do. And so, yeah. And after I do the Lambos, like, the Lambos I've chosen, I'll be doing something real special. Let me explain. Like, if you've seen, like, over a year ago or something like that, or maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember, where I did the videos on the Nissan Skylines, after I got home from vacation, I recently did the Nissan Skylines, specifically the GTRs. So GTRs. And after I did the GTRs, I realized there was another version of the Skyline I wanted to do. And this one was pretty cool as well. But I'll let you guys know which one it is. Because I know which one it is from the Skyline brand. also like a Skyline, but it's a little bit different in terms of like, engine, drivetrain, interior, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. But I'll let you guys know what it is. All right. So that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down. So like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. So comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted of when I make brand new uploads. All right. So time is now currently 12, not 12:50, sorry, 12:17. So 12:17 a.m. on Saturday morning. All right. So that'll be it. So remember, if you like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. All right. So that'll be it. I gotta go. So yeah, I gotta go. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe. Have a great evening. So have a great morning. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out. So, take care, folks. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye. So, good night, guys. So, good night, guys.